Turles inside of Xenoverse 2 is a character with a huge budget behind him. You can tell from how amazing his combos look, the fact that he has a bunch of unique attacks to him, and being one of the selling points of Xenoverse 2. However, in the game, he has a Super Soul that just boosts the stamina's depletion rate for the opponent when succeeding at a Just Guard, which is solid, but I feel like a bit more could be done to make Turles stand out from the CAC, to give him something a bit more special, like perhaps basing him around the Fruit of the Tree of Might skill. In the last video where I gave Namek Goku, Full Power Frieza, and Namek Vegeta their character-exclusive Super Souls, I asked you guys if you had any suggestions for characters you would like to see next, to leave a comment about it, and to let me know what you would like to see next. And I got a bunch of amazing suggestions, thanks to everybody who gave me the suggestion. A bunch of them were fantastic. Though one really stood out to me, and that was a comment I got about giving Turles a character-exclusive Super Soul, basing him around the Fruit of the Tree of Might skill, perhaps giving him a stack effect, kind of like in the old Budokai Tenkaichi game. And judging by these thumbs up, apparently you guys really like this idea as well. In fact, I decided to actually take this suggestion, and is it the same thing? Well, let's just get into the details. For the next character exclusive Super Soul, number 4, the 4th character, is Turles. So Turles now has a new Super Soul in the new Gameplay Enhancer update. If you don't know, the Gameplay Enhancer is a giant quality of life patch for Xenoverse 2 that aims to make cast characters much better options to pick than the CAC. And as I stated, Turles is next up to get a character exclusive Super Soul, and I know you guys want the details, so let me just hop right into the details. So Turles now has a character-exclusive Super Soul named Rejoice, for I have dined on the Fruit of the Tree of Might, which is present on Turles' only variation. Anyway, let's get to the details. So the first effect of this Super Soul is his base max health at the start of the match increases by 10%. Turles has a very low health stat. I decided to give him some extra max health to allow him to tank a bit better. In line with some defensive utility, the second effect increases his base max stamina by 25%, a permanent buff at the start of the match. Turles as well has lower stamina, so I decided to give him a bit more stamina to allow him to be a bit more mobile and defensive in combat. On the contrary, with his third effect, his base melee and strike super damage go up by 20%, a permanent buff at the start of the match. Turles has very low melee and strike super melee damage, so I decided to increase that by 20%. However, his fourth effect is where things get interesting if you ask me. When the Fruit of the Tree of Might skill is used, the following effects occur to self. 6 times only, a permanent buff. The first effect is he gets 5% speed, the second effect he gets 10% inflicted damage, and then the third effect is he gets 3% damage reduction. This stacks 6 times. Using the Fruit of the Tree of Might skill will give you these stats up to a respective 30% speed, 60% inflicted damage, and an 18% damage reduction. These will all stack, of course, when you use the Fruit of the Tree of Might skill. So Turles, after these 6 stacks of his Fruit of the Tree of Might skill, will make him a force to be reckoned with inside of hard content. However, his Super Soul's effects don't end there, as he has a 5th effect on his Super Soul as well. The 5th effect of his Super Soul is the following effects apply to self and allies at the start of the match. Permanent. 5% inflicted damage, 5% damage reduction, and 3% base max health. What this means is at the start of the match, Turles as well will get these buffs for himself and his whole team. This means any teammate you have will get these buffs. Turles is a fantastic character to bring as a support character for parallel quests, especially hard ones. As Turles' Super Soul, not only does it give these stats, it stacks if you bring 2 Turleses. So if you pick your CAC, or you pick Goku or something and bring 2 Turleses with you, you can actually get a 50% damage increase, a 10% damage reduction increase, and a 6% base max health increase. Turles is now a fantastic character to bring in a parallel quest, I hope, and I hope Turles now gets a bit more mileage out of his character exclusive Super Soul, and you guys enjoy playing as him. As I said before, if you have any suggestions you would like to see for characters getting character exclusive Super Souls, please feel free to leave a comment, as I am fully here to hear suggestions about what you guys like. I got a bunch of amazing suggestions last time, but that Turles one, a lot of you guys wanted to see, so I decided to develop it and put it in the game. Hopefully this meets your guys' expectations. However, as I stated in the last video, not one character exclusive Super Soul is introduced in the new update, 2 are.
Flashback.
But that's about it for custom Super Souls. In each Gameplay Enhancer update going forward, 2 new characters will get buffed every single time a version number jumps.
End of flashback.
So, as the second character getting a character exclusive Super Soul is Future Gohan. Future Gohan is the next character in the same update as Turles to get this character exclusive Super Soul. Future Gohan in the base game, he has a pretty solid Super Soul, I would argue. However, its limit burst effect is absolutely terrible. But the problem is the effect only activates under 50% HP. You just get unlucky and you just get one shot by hard quest. The Super Soul will never activate, and even then it only gives you 10% damage reduction. So I thought it no more fitting to give Future Gohan his character exclusive Super Soul, as he is another huge selling point of this game with a huge budget behind him, as you can tell by all of his attacks and combos. So future Gohan as well is getting his character exclusive Super Soul, which is properly named It's Time to Take It All Back. Our Future, which is present on future Gohan's only variation. So the first effect is at the start of the match, he gets 15% to his max base health. Future Gohan has a terrible health stat. He more is just barely in the green, so I decided to give him a health increase to allow him to tank a bit better. On the opposite end of that, his second effect gives him 25% to his max ki, which is 2.5 extra ki bars, as he has a pretty low ki stat as well. This effect will also apply at the start of the match. The third effect for future Gohan is, in line with his ki buff, his base ki blast and base ki super damage go up by 20%. He has very low super stat for some very unexplainable reason, so I decided to give him some extra damage to his ki blast oriented side, as he is more of a range fighter anyway. These effects will of course apply at the start of the match. They're permanent buffs along with the effects before this. The fourth effect is to aid him a bit in his defensive side and to more reminisce his original Super Soul. He gets permanent 10% damage reduction at the start of the match. This will allow him to tank a lot better along with his max health, so he should be a force to be reckoned with inside of Parallel Quest. However, the fifth effect is where things get very interesting. The fifth effect for future Gohan is when one-handed Kamehameha Mark II is used, the following effects apply to self during the length of the attack, 3 times only. The first effect is his ki blast damage goes up by 400%. What this means is his one-handed Kamehameha is absolutely going to destroy enemy health when it's used. This effect will of course activate 3 times, however that's not it. As when this one-handed Kamehameha Mark II is used, another effect applies as well. His stamina damage goes up by 200%. This makes it so if the enemy blocks your attack, you will shred through their stamina like no one's business. Stamina being shred means the ki super damage will also penetrate their stamina and absolutely just shred through them, and even the chip damage will be a lot while they're trying to block it. And there's a third effect as well, which will give you 200% extra stamina recovery when using the one-handed Kamehameha Mark II, as you can get your stamina back a bit while the attack's being used, as it's a very lengthy attack. However, it should be noted this effect only activates 3 times. So the best thing to do with this future Gohan is when you're playing a hard parallel quest is to set up the one-handed Kamehameha Mark II to absolutely torch any enemies in your way. And even enemies with ki blast mitigation will even take a bunch of damage from his one-handed Kamehameha Mark II. But be careful, as if this attack misses, one of the charges are used. So you need to make sure your attack is going to hit when this effect is used. So hopefully this effect will allow future Gohan to be even better inside of hard content. However, that's not his only effect, as he has a 6th effect as well. In addition to the one-handed Kamehameha buff, the 6th effect actually activates when an ally is KO'd. When an ally is KO'd, the following effects occur to self. 4 times only, a permanent buff. His speed goes up by 5%, his inflicted damage goes up by 20%, and his damage reduction goes up by 8%. This means when an ally is KO'd 4 times, he will get 20% speed, permanent buff, a 80% inflicted damage buff, which is permanent, and then the 32% damage reduction. So this means if you get all stacks of an ally being KO'd with the inflicted damage buffs, when you use the one-handed Kamehameha Mark II, if you save a few charges, you will absolutely destroy the enemy with an insanely powerful blast. You can either use the one-handed Kamehameha Mark II at the start of the fight to get through it quickly, or you can wait till an ally gets KO'd in a hard mission to stack your damage up, stack your damage reduction and speed to get an edge on your opponent's stamina break them, then hit him with a one-handed Kamehameha Mark II and shred through multiple health bars at once. The stack for when an ally is KO'd will activate 4 times. However, when this stack is fully built up, future Gohan is an absolute menace in hard content, and hopefully his new character exclusive Super Soul will give him a bunch more viability in hard parallel quests. But that's about it for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know once again this video was information overload, but hopefully I broke it down well enough for you guys. Everything stated is down in the description. You can download it at the 5.5 updates out for the gameplay and answer. Let me know what you guys think of the Super Souls if you'd like. If you have suggestions for other ones you would like to see, feel free to let me know. But we're all out of time, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.